Hi, I'm Nancy. Welcome to Mindful Yoga. Today our emphasis is on the glutes, the buttocks muscles. These muscles that sometimes are largely unconscious are very important to the mobility and stability of our hips and our pelvis and even our knees. We use them in yoga a lot, and we'll become a little bit more aware of that today. We'll also have a poem by a Russian poet named Anna Akhmatova. So let's do a little bit of breathing first to start. Taking a seat where you can be comfortable. You can be in a chair for this part if you wish, or on the earth, the floor. A spine that is in its natural curves. A lifting up from the tailbone, up through the root of the tongue and the back of the crown. Little tuck in the chin for a long neck in the back. Giving ample room for the diaphragm to expand and contract. Letting the diaphragm expand the lower ribs to the sides and the back. And as the breath lengthens, letting that breath float up through the upper lungs as well. Four or five more breaths, just enjoying this full breathing. We'll let the exhale become a little longer than the inhale. And imagine the inhale coming up the back of the spine, the yang, strong, active side of the body. Inhaling up the back, and it comes up the back of the neck, over the skull, and exhaling down the front of the spine through the center of the front body. Inhaling up the back. Exhaling on that yin, soft, receptive side of the body through heart and belly. Coming round through pelvic floor and inhaling up the back. Letting the exhale be long and soft, enabling us to let go of some of our thinking mind, coming down into the gut brain, the intuitive side, the somatic awareness of the body. Everything is plundered, betrayed, sold. Death's great black wing scrapes the air. Misery gnaws to the bone. Why then do we not despair? By day, from the surrounding woods, cherries blow summer into town. At night, the deep, transparent skies glitter with new galaxies. And the miraculous comes so close to the ruined, dirty houses. Something not known to anyone at all, but wild in our beast for centuries. Wild in our breast for centuries. Maybe the beast too. A couple more breaths here. Enjoying the silence, the awareness. And opening the eyes if they've been closed, taking in the light, all the miracles around you. Bringing one hand flat against the mat beside your hip, other arm reaches up, reach up tall, hip up to fingertips, and exhale over. heavying the head and letting some arch come in the upper ribs underneath the armpits. And planting the other hand, reaching up, becoming long on the side, heavying the head, arching under the armpit. And back and forth 2 more times in each direction. Slow movements allow the body to awaken. The lateral line of the body opening. And as you come up through center, bring arms wide, stretch out from heart, out through shoulders, elbows, out to the fingertips. Expand through the palm and the fingers. And then turning from the waist up, little movement, except at the waist in this thoracic twist. Bringing the twisting to the spine, the spiraling of the spine, particularly in the thoracic area of the body. The lumbar lower spine doesn't have a lot of movement in a twisting way. And of course, you can turn your cervical neck spine a little bit if you wish. There's plenty of movement there. 1 more time in each direction. And then let's bring our wings out, opening up through the chest, shoulder blades squeezing together slightly, and then closing in. Inhale, open the front of the spine. And exhale, open the back of the spine. One last time, opening up, inviting the world in, and coming into the inner regions for a moment. And coming through center, I'm going to show us some pictures of the glutes. The gluteus maximus is the part of the glutes that you'll see right here that extend from the upper edge, inner edge, the outer surface of the hip bone and down along the SI joint, and then come out kind of diagonally towards the side of the thigh, and they attach to the iliotibial band, which is on the side of the thigh. So basically the side of the thigh. And that's responsible, that muscle, for externally rotating the hips and legs, bringing them outwards, and also for kicking back in the leg. So you can see it's a really big muscle and very important to the whole pelvis structure, the SI joint, and also to the leg itself. And then I'll show you the gluteus medius. It pairs with the gluteus minimus, so I'll just say the gluteus medius here. And it's on the side back of the hip, attaching in the upper hip bone on the outer surface and coming down to the greater trochanter, which is that bump on the side of the hip. So it does an internal rotation. It brings the knee and leg, hip inwards. Let's stand for a moment so we can feel this movement a bit. So coming into firm feet, bringing the weight into the left foot, raise the right knee a little bit. You can stay on your toe or bring it up a little bit. Bring your hand back to that main big muscle in your buttocks and feel it contract slightly as you externally rotate that knee outwards. Then bringing the toe back down, we're going to kick back a little bit. Again, if you can bring a finger or several fingers or hand to the buttocks, you'll feel a definite contraction as you kick back. We'll do this about 5 more times because this is one good, gentle, effective activation of the gluteus maximus. Then if you bring your hand to the side back, running from the top of the hip bone down to the outer jut of the hip, again, weight into the left foot and coming up on the toe, or just lifting that leg a little bit up and internally rotating, coming across and bringing your fingers to that gluteus medius area on the side back. You can feel some contraction there. So bring that foot down, good strength through the left leg and up through the hip. Let's bring our toe out to the side, then bring it straight back, out to the side, and across. Side, back, side, across in the front. And if you have your hand back there, you're going to feel the gluteus maximus and the gluteus medius doing their work. And bring that foot back. Let's come to the other side. So weight goes into the right foot and strong up through that leg, strong in that hip for support. Coming up on the toe of the left leg and externally rotating, hand on the gluteus maximus. Different fibers being used here than when you kick back. It's not quite as strong of a feeling. And then we'll kick back, and here you can really feel the gluteus maximus working for 8, 7, 6, 3, 2, and 1. Nice gentle strengthening on that side, and then lifting the toe up once again, keeping that strength through the right leg and hip. Lifting the toe just a bit if you can, and coming over into an internal rotation with the hand on the side back of the hip. And you'll feel the gluteus medius and minimus working there. They work together. Then bring that foot down, and we'll go to the side. Keep your hand back there if you'd like to feel this, and then coming back, tapping to the side, tapping across in the front for the gluteus medius, to the side, to the back, to the side, across. A few more times. If you're in your kitchen, just standing around waiting for something to boil, this is one thing that you can do to encourage your glutes. And bring it down. Okay, we're going to come to a lying position. Take a moment to let your glutes and hips, belly, the back of the heart, the head just sink down towards the floor, towards the earth. And then with knees bent and feet wide on the mat, arms are out from the shoulders horizontally, we'll do a windshield wiper, just gently letting the knees sway from side to side. This is, in this, the glutes are carrying very little load because we're letting the earth carry our load. So this is a nice stretch for both glutes because we're internally and externally rotating hips. It also takes a little bit of gentle strength to come back up. So the glutes are getting a little bit of exercise here as well. Coming back through center, extend one leg out or leave it bent if that feels better, and hug one knee to the chest. A nice glute stretch. Release that leg and bring the other knee to the chest. keeping the mind's eye into the glutes, letting go there. And then bringing both knees up, a little bit of a different feeling. And feel some release through the lower back as well. Bring the knees wide to the armpits, raise the feet up into happy baby. An excellent relief for the low back and release for the glutes as well. Although we're a little externally rotated here, so you know that the Gluteus Maximus is doing a little bit of work, but not much. Let one leg come down, leave one leg up, and bring the knee so it's straight over the heart area. And then we're going to push up kind of isometrically, pushing foot against hand, hand against foot. Or if you're just holding your ankle, pulling down and pushing up. And this contracts the Gluteus Maximus. So this is a nice gentle glute strengthener, just to push up with the foot and pull down with the hand or hands. Bringing that knee down so other leg can come up. Hands are on the ankle or around at the bottom of the foot. Knee is well bent. Pushing up and pulling down, contracting through the Gluteus Maximus. Knee is right over the chest, not the armpit. Gentle glute strengthener. Now bring that leg over so that the ankle rests on the thigh of the opposite leg. Often, and the leg, that sole of foot is on the earth floor, let that be on the earth. So we're not raising up in a typical figure four. Bring your hand of the figure four leg to the knee, press gently on the knee. We often use this as a release for the psoas muscle. This time we're going to use it as a strengthener for the glute. So as you push slightly on the knee, feel a contraction. You might feel it in your thigh, but try to focus it into your glute. So feeling the glute contract as you push gently on the knee. For 3, 2, and 1. Another gentle strengthener. Come to figure 4 on the opposite side. Gentle push against the knee. Bringing some engagement into that glute. Kind of learning with your body mind where that glute is. Becoming aware of its engagement. For 3, 2, and 1. Now we'll bring the knees bent over the hips. Arms are out to the sides from the shoulders. Both knees go over in one direction, 45 degrees, up through center and across to the other side. Slowly back and forth, pulling up through center. We often talk about this as an exercise for the oblique muscles on the sides of the waist, but it's also requiring energy from both internal and external rotation of the hips, and therefore of the gluteus medius and the gluteus maximus. I can particularly feel my gluteus medius on the outside back of the hip working here. So it's a way to become more aware of the muscles as well. Coming up through center, bring the feet down 4 or 5 inches below the buttocks with knees bent, coming into bridge pose. Arms are along the side, tucking the elbows in. Press into the feet, raise the hips, and just naturally the glutes are going to work because you couldn't do this if you didn't have glutes. Hamstrings are also part of this, and the long muscles along the spine. Bring it down. Then once again, pressing into the feet, hips just in a line between knees and shoulders. You might interlace your fingers underneath so that your arms and hands can help in your support here. And then if you want to increase the challenge to the glutes a bit, bring the weight into the right foot, make sure that right foot is right under the knee, left knee comes up to the chest and then reaches out, extends out. And when you extend out, you're using that gluteus maximus. Pause for a moment and then bring the knee up to the chest. And also you can feel the glute, right, on the other leg, on the supporting leg. One more time and bring it down. So another good glute strengthener. Coming up once again, we'll do the other leg. Weight into the left foot this time. Strong in that glute along with the other muscles. And then that right knee comes up and extends out. Pause for a moment. A little extra for the right glute. Up through the chest. Extend out. Pause. Strong all through the glutes. One more time. And bring it down, and everything comes down. Give your knees another hug, and maybe, if it feels good, to bring the knees out towards the armpits and rock back and forth on the sacrum a bit. This is relaxing for glutes and lower back. Then we're going to move on to the side of our bodies, lying on the sides of our body. Legs are extended out, and head is down in the crook of the elbow, so you're pretty flat. And the top arm, the hand, is in front of the chest, giving some support. Extend out through the top leg, kick forward with a flexed ankle, then point as you kick back slightly. So this is just 5 or 6 inches forward and 5 or 6 inches back. Forward flex, backward point. Forward flex, backward point. And let the mind's eye come to the buttocks. What's happening there? 2 and 1. And bring it down. Now lift that top leg slightly and do a draw a small circle, as if you were drawing a circle on the wall beyond you. And just let it be small. It can get a little bit bigger, but doesn't need to be too big in order to bring some good exercise to the glutes. And then do it the opposite direction. We have both external and internal rotation going on here, as well as lifting. So the glutes are quite busy. Then bringing that down, bring a mild V to the legs, and let's come up onto our forearms. So the forearm is underneath the shoulder now. Bringing the hand, the soft fist, over to the eye of the shoulder, making sure that that elbow is right under the shoulder for good support, and lifting up with the hips for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Option now to bring arm up for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Option to come into a side plank, legs might extend out, lifting the hips, arm might be up or across, finding your place here or not doing it for 3, 2, and 1, and bring it down. All of those good for glute strength. Let's come on to our other side and repeat that. Nestling down into your elbow, and legs are extended out. Kicking forward, flexing the foot, pointing back, flex forward, point back. Feeling that contraction of the glute as you kick back. Again, gentle, because the glute is not holding any other load. So this is a nice gentle one. Bringing that leg back with the other, and then circling it round, lifting and making a small circle. Internal and external rotation. And a kind of kicking back here, and then round the opposite direction. And bring it down. Then bringing that mild V to the legs. And the forearm underneath the shoulder. Make sure you've got good support for the shoulder. Hand comes to the opposite eye of the shoulder. And lift up through the hips for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Stay with this if you'd like, or bring the arm straight up for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Stay with this, or you might extend the legs out. Arm can be up or across the chest for a shoulder, side plank for 4, 3, 2, and 1, and bring it down. Now turning around so that your feet are out in front of you wide, and your tummy's going to come up towards the ceiling. Hands are behind, under the shoulders, but behind the body, and the fingers are forward. Bring the weight of the body into the outside of the palms, rather than be in towards the thumb mound. And raise the hips, making sure that your feet are where they need to be. You might have to readjust. You could swing a little bit here. Option to come up all the way, strong through the glutes here for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Then bringing the buttocks down, extend the legs out in front of you. Hands are still behind you, maybe a little closer together, but under the shoulders, fingers forward, called an incline. As you bring the hips up, you can press the toes down in the direction of the mat, aware perhaps of contraction all the way up through the legs, but definitely up into the glutes as well. And bring it down. Let's take a little glute stretch. Knees come wide, arms come in between, and then wrap around. Come back onto the soft tissues behind the sits bones as you come in to lotus pose. It's a nice relaxer for the glutes, just letting them smush like marshmallows. Okay, and here we are, the lotus, with our roots deep in the muddy bottom of the pond, coming up through the water and blooming forth in the light and coming down. We're going to come into a squat. If you use any props such as a block or pillow under your glutes, or maybe you have a blanket that you can put your heels up on, that's what I tend to do. If your knees don't allow for this, just do a squat a little farther up in the air. Elbows can be on the knees or in between the knees. If they're in between the knees, keep some pressure of the knees coming in as well as the elbows push out, so that we're not stressing the ligaments in the hips too much. Draw upwards through the spine. Pelvic floor is getting some exercise here. And although I have a hard time feeling my glutes on this one, the glutes are busy. They are engaged. There's also a stretch for them. Now, we're going to try to stand up from a squat. You might bring your hands in front of you to get a little help as you come up. And then come back down if that works for you. If it doesn't, just stay up here and come up and down a little bit. But if you can come back down, and if you can stand up without your hands, you might give that a try. It's a nice challenge for the glutes. You can also, in another time of your day, just getting up and down from a chair is also a practice for the glutes and a strengthening. Very good. And then we'll come into a tabletop position. So putting any props to the side. and coming into a tabletop position. Hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips, becoming long from pubic bone up through the collarbone, shoulder blades go down towards the waist, and then pulling up through the oblique muscles on the sides of the waist, arching up in the back, opening up through the vertebrae. Being kind to the ligaments so you don't sink down with too much abandon. Keeping some engagement as you take that sinking cow pose. One more time in each direction. And come through. Center, neutral spine. Let the left hand be firm under the left shoulder and right knee under the right hip. The left leg and right arm stretch out. You can have a fist at the end of that hand. Might help you here. So this in itself is a glute strengthener. If you want to bring a little more challenge to it, kicking up just slightly, 3 inches or so up in the back for 4, 3, 2, and 1, and bring it back. You can feel the glute on that one, I think. And then bringing the right hand under the shoulder, left knee under the hip, stretching out the opposite limbs, holding here or pushing up several inches, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Then coming back into your tabletop, lift one leg up, extending out, and as you do that external rotation in a hydrant, you will be using your Gluteus Maximus, and then do the other side, going slowly side to side, extending out through the knee. The Gluteus Maximus also is one of the muscles that works with the knee. So the knee, not in this particular exercise so much, but in general, the knee is affected by the strength of the Gluteus Maximus. And then bringing them back together, let's come down into a prone position. Bring your left hand underneath your forehead and let the forehead rest down onto the back of the left hand. Bring the right hand back so that you're feeling the right glute. Bend the right knee and lift slightly through the knee up through the hip. Or if that is hard for you, extend the leg out and lift. And what we want to be feeling is the activation of the glute, the Gluteus Maximus here, as the leg just gently, very small bit, kicks back. So this is a good way. Maybe you're going hiking, you want to just activate, make sure your glutes are turned on. You can activate them in this way. And then changing sides, bringing your right hand underneath your forehead, left fingers come back to the left glute, either leg extended or leg bent, lifting. If you bend the leg, there's a little more guarantee that the glutes are really going to do their thing. We compensate sometimes for glute weakness by using our hamstrings or other muscles. 2, and 1, and bring it down. Bringing our hands underneath shoulders, elbows bent along the sides. Press into the top of the feet, activating up through the legs and up into the glutes. And then using muscles front and back of the core to rise slightly without much use of the arm muscles. And then bring it down, rest for a moment. Once again, take some of the load into the legs and the hips as you turn on glutes and other muscles, And this time you might push into the hands a little bit using the arms, come up into a little higher cobra and bring it down. Now bring the feet together and the thighs together. Arms come out to the side backs. Palms are out with thumbs up. And lifting up just slightly with head and shoulders for 3, 2, and 1. Gluteus maximus, always busy when you're extending the trunk up like that. Now one last one we're going to do. You can have your head just a little bit floating above the mat, gaze down. Press the feet together, legs lift slightly, just a few inches, and then beat the heels together. So heels are just going in and out, drumming together, and then going apart. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. That's also a good glute strengthener. Let's rest for a moment. We deserve a rest. Coming back into your breathing, feeling your diaphragm and belly against the mat, against the earth. Letting go into gravity, trusting the gravity that makes us who we are, in part. And then we'll come up onto our knees. We're going to do a back bend here. If knees don't work for you, you can skip this or and just rest or come up into a standing position, but we'll come into a downward dog next. So hands come to the back of the body with the heels of the hands against the top of the hips, and fingers are going down towards and on the gluteus maximus, and then the thumbs are coming out onto the side back of the hips. So the thumbs are on the gluteus medius. And we're going to open from the pubic bone up through the collarbone, shoulder blades come together, opening up through the front, not a big back bend. And then coming back up, aligning straight up. And then once again, opening in the front, feeling perhaps that the gluteus maximus here, there's a little bit of external rotation when you do a back bend. Come back up. And then once more, feeling gluteus medius on the side. Because as the gluteus maximus has this slight external rotation in a back bend, the gluteus medius has a slight internal rotation. So they're balancing each other. Come up once again. And then one more time, don't overstrain the back bend. The point here is to feel that both the gluteus maximus and the gluteus medius are at work here, balancing each other with their external and internal rotation, slight as that is in a back bend. And then bringing the hands out in front of you, tucking the toes. Let's come up into a downward dog. Downward dog is challenging, but it gives a nice stretch and release to the glutes. So stretching back through arms and sides, back through sits bones. You're strong in the inner abdomen, but the glutes aren't doing a whole lot here. And you might pedal your legs a bit. So the downward dog has its relaxing aspect to it. Letting the shoulder blades come wide and the elbows turn inwards and forward just a bit. So you're strong through the arms. Then bringing the left foot under the hips, raise the right leg. Okay, gluteus maximum is at work here as we kick back. Option to come into a knee down lunge or a high lunge from this. High lunge will be more challenging and will use more glutes, but both will. So you can come down on your knees or you can bring the knee under the belly and bring it through. If you're coming up into a high lunge, bring the hands back, rub them up the shin, and come up into a high lunge, or you might be in a knee down lunge. So either one is fine here. Both are giving some stretch and strengthening to the glutes. If you're in a knee down lunge, bring your knee back a little bit. That's going to make you use your gluteus maximus just a little bit more. Finding alignment and steadiness in this pose, drawing with the thighs towards the hips. Let's do 3 sun breaths here, bringing the shoulders in a little bit in activity, coming down to the heart, palms together. 2 more times. That back leg glute working here. And then whichever lunge you are in, bring the hands along the front foot and come back into downward dog. Stretch back through the glutes. Let's get a nice glute stretch. And then weight into the right foot, left foot rises up. Pausing for a moment. Opening the hip flexor, as well as exercising the glute in the back. And then coming into your choice here of knee down or high lunge. Just coming up into that high lunge takes a fair amount of glute strength. And now bring the hands to the chest. One palm goes up towards heaven, one palm presses down towards earth. Back through center. Exhaling up to the skies and down to the earth. One last time. And bring the feet together, coming forward. Even that requires some glute strength. And we'll come into mountain pose. Glutes are very important in simply standing and walking. Feeling the feet beneath you, rooting down in mountain pose, engaging through the arches, feeling that engagement come up through the inner seam of the legs. And that also affects the gluteus medius to draw it in internally a bit. Then to counterpose that, we're going to engage through the glutes, squeezing the sits bones together. So you've got a good counterbalance strength right here in the hips. Let the lower ribs come down a bit, tuck in. The lower tips of the shoulder blades tuck in as well. And you have a very strong stance here. Let's do a back bend here. Hands come to the heart, palms together. And opening back. And coming forward. So again, not a big back bend. Just enough to turn on the strength of the gluteus maximus. Externally rotating in the gluteus medius, internally rotating. And one more time. Actually, when we do a back bend, the gluteus maximus puts some pull on the SI joint, the sacroiliac joint. So it's important to have strong gluteus medius as well to counterbalance that pull. Now, feet under the hips, maybe a little bit farther apart. Coming down, hands trace down the legs. Knees can bend quite a bit here. Option to bring first and second fingers around the big toe. Lift up a bit through the sits bones. Your knees can still be quite bent, but lift up a bit through the sits bones. so that you get a nice stretch through the glutes. Just enjoy that for a moment. The legs, of course, are taking some of the burden here. And then releasing the toes, bend the knees quite a bit, arms come wide, gaze and chest are forward as you rise up. And bring the hands down. Let's come into a chair pose. So feet are a little wider than hip width apart. Hips come back, arms come forward, palms facing each other. Hips coming back just to the point that is comfortable for you. Then hands come up, knees straighten, hips straighten, come up and back. Glutes alive here. And next time you come down, you might just bring the hands back and let the hips rise slightly, bring them forward. This kind of engages the glutes and then lets them go a little bit. Option here, if you want a little more challenge, is to bring the left leg so that the ankle comes up over the thigh of the right leg. Option, a little more challenge for the glute, and you have some bend to that right knee. And then bringing the left foot down, weight goes into the left foot, right leg comes into a figure four, and you can do your chair in this position. So lots of possibilities for gentle strengthening of the glutes and also more challenging strengthening of the glutes. Let's do a somewhat easy balance because glutes are very important in the balance as well. Bring the weight into the left foot. Energy comes up through the leg, engaging through these muscles on the side of the hips for that foundation leg. Hands can be on the hips. You might come up to your toe and just bring the knee out and in. You might raise the knee up and bring the knee in and out. So on that foundation leg, the gluteus maximus is doing some external rotation and the gluteus medius is doing some internal rotation so that they are holding the balance of the body as you wave your knee around. And then come down onto the other side, establishing that foot, bright arch, strong through the sides of the hips, opening the knee with toe down or with knee raised, giving some challenge to the glutes on that foundation leg. And bring it down. Let's take a moment to bring the feet wide and just let the hips go back and forth. Again, a little bit of relaxation here along the way. Yes, you will probably feel your glutes tomorrow. But through the week, just if you remember one or two of these exercises that you can do as you are in the middle of life, keep some strength for the pelvis and the hips. And coming back through center, we're going to come into a warrior three. So bringing the weight into the right foot, arms are along the side, and back foot on the left just toggles up and down. I imagine that you feel your glutes turning on now. You know that feeling. And you can just stay with this toggle, or option to bring the foot up to whatever height is right for you. Arms might stay tight along the body, gives the body a little more strength here. Easy in the knee, not locked and yet firm. Arms might come out to the sides in a T for 3, 2, and 1. And bring it down. Take a moment to just relax, maybe rub the glute if that's comfortable for you, and just relax there. And then coming to the other side, establishing that foundation leg, feeling the strength in the leg, the side of the hip, the back of the butt, arms along the side, a toggle. Fine to just stay right here. You're doing a little kick back, and you're also using the glutes on the foundation leg. Kick up farther if you would like. Arms might be along the side. The glute on the kicking leg is a light with engagement. Arms might come out in a T for 3, 2, and 1, and bring it down. And now finally, let's just do a relaxation stretch for the glutes. I have one foot in front of the other. There's distance between the heels. My hands are interlaced, fingers interlaced at the bottom of the buttocks. So I'm pulling down slightly, which gives my body a little bit more strength and support. And then I'm going to come over slightly with a slightly diagonal back, press into the back foot and into the toes of the front foot, feeling some stretch across the glutes. You can do this with a counter or chair in front of you as well for support. Also feels good. Let's bring the hands to the thighs. This also can be your position. Run the hands down to the shins so your back is a little bit more towards a parallel position with the floor. Press into the shin, and that changes the stretch a bit. You might want a little bit more bend in the knee, but this brings more release to the lower back as well as the glutes. And strong through the belly, tracing up the leg, come back up, bring the feet together. And then other foot comes forward. The front leg is straight here. Let fingers interlace below the buttocks, pulling down, giving strength through the body. And then back comes diagonal forwards, pressing into the back foot and the front toes, allowing some stretch through the glute. I feel this one much more on one side than the other, and I feel the stretch, I think, where it's needed, because that's the weaker side that I'm feeling it on. So you might be curious about which side is stronger and which side is less strong, just getting to know your body. Bring the hands around to the front of the thighs, and then rub them down to the shins. Keep the back long, spine long from tailbone through crown. Nice stretch through the lower back. Bend the knee a little bit here if you need to. For 3, 2, and 1. And trace up the leg, hands to the hips, bring the feet together. And let's come down into a lying position to end. Take a moment to just let it all go. Shoulder blades relax down. Buttocks soft, shins, heels. Wiggle around any way you need to become more comfortable. If you wanted to relax completely, you might have a pillow under your knees. Move any way you'd like to. I'm going to suggest that if you'd like, bring one leg up and give it a hug, much as we did at the beginning. Bringing some release to the glutes. Coming back into your gentle breathing. Taking these last few moments to let the mind rest into the body. Change knees. Relaxing down through the back of the neck, the back of the heart, the back of the waist. Then bringing both knees up, feeling the sacrum release, glutes soft, eyes relaxed in their sockets, all the little muscles around the eyes softening, relaxing even behind the eyes, and back into the center of the midbrain. Extend the legs out. Arms come out from the shoulders to the sides. Hips go over to the left slightly. Left foot comes up on right thigh, rolling over into a twist, finding a comfortable place there. Excuse me. Relaxing through belly and hips, through thighs and shins, calves, and the bottom of the feet, soft. Toes. One more breath here. And rolling back through center, extending the left leg, right foot comes up, hips go over to the right slightly, right knee over on left thigh and rolling over. Relaxing down through the leg, feeling the space between the big toe and the second toe, soft through the bottom of the foot. Sweeping up, soft through pelvic floor, belly, stomach, heart, and lungs. Relax through jaw and lips and tongue. Cheeks relaxed and rosy. Life flowing freely. One more breath here. Then rolling back through center. You're free to stay here and relax for a while. If you're coming back into your day, roll over on your side, come up to a brief sitting position, bringing hands to heart. Let's not despair. Despair is not a strong stand. Receive the big picture. From the cherries blowing summer into town and the deep transparent skies. Namaste. Thanks for practicing.